Konnichiwa, Mina-san. Welcome to another episode of Backlog Brain Rot. Joining me this week, as always, are my two co-hosts, Parrot
Hello, hello.
and Sean.
Hello everyone.
And of course, today we want to celebrate the Switch 2 coming out, which we were all very excited for. And I know last time on the podcast we mentioned it, but Sean had not got his Switch 2 yet because Target was being stupid, but he finally did get it. So we're happy about that.
About time.
So did they give you, like, I saw they were giving some people like $50 credit or something? Did they do that
Yeah,
for you?
so I eventually got that. Yeah, I think that had to do with a lot of backlash they received because
Which
I
is
know a
good. They
lot of
should have.
people. Yeah, so I got that $50 little gift card in there, so I put that on my Nintendo account. So that is going to go right towards something that I will talk about in what we're going to be playing next.
Ooh, perfect. All right, so I thought we could just jump right into our first Switch 2 impression. So, Parrot, I know you shared some when you went to the event, but Sean and
Yeah.
I didn't get to go. So, we'll start with each of us maybe first, and then you can kind of follow up. But, Sean, do you want to talk about just like when you open the Switch, kind of what's like the size, if you were happy with it, how it felt? Just kind of give your initial thoughts.
Yeah, I'm like super satisfied and happy with the Switch 2 so far. I'm really enjoying it. I could not believe I knew the screen was going to be bigger, but I didn't think it would be like that much. Like it is
Mhm.
so much bigger than the Switch 1, like a lot bigger. It reminds me much more of almost like an iPad where it like takes up almost like the entire like the screen takes up almost like the entire like device, which is
Right.
pretty cool. I like that. Um as far as the controllers go, I'm loving the Pro controller. I'm
Yeah, it's so
absolutely
nice.
loving it. It is so good. I am shocked at how well they implemented the chat function because usually, Nintendo
Mhm.
online probably gonna, they're gonna do something to make it stupid and make it really hard and very inaccess and make it difficult to access. But they did such a good job with the chat function where you can just, it's so easy to use. The one gripe I have with the chat is that if you're already in an existing chat, like, and you created a room and you say like you wanted to invite someone new, you have to like exit out the entire chat and make a new chat room. You can't
Yeah,
just randomly, you can't just add people into invite it. But they made it really easy and it actually works pretty well. Like I have not had like any major issues with it. So overall, I am very impressed with my, first month with my Switch now. Well, my Switch 2, it's great.
yeah, it's funny because I played a lot of the Steam Deck before, and even the Steam Deck always kind of made the original Switch seem small compared to it because it's a little girthier. But now with the Switch 2, it's like now the Steam Deck seems small. So because
Mhm.
the Joy Cons too just feel a lot better, like they're a lot bigger. Which I never really played with them on their side before, but I feel like now you can a lot easier because the buttons are not microscopic. But also, one of the first things I did when I got it out was, of course, transfer my old Switch information over to it. And it was pretty quick and it was easy. So I did hear a complaint that if you don't do it right away, like you can't like go back and do it without doing like a full factory reset, which is kind of strange. But I don't know why you really wouldn't want to just do it right away anyway. But so I had no issues with that. But yeah, the screen is nice and big, and yeah, the Joy Cons just feel a lot better with the way they're attached with the magnet. Like the other ones always felt like kind of loose, like they were gonna fall off. Where these, I don't really get any give from it too much. Then the control sticks feel really good. Same with, like you said, the Pro controller. Just it's funny because I switch back and forth between that and the Dual Sense. I'm like the Dual Sense feels like so much harder on my hands. Like the Switch Pro controller too just feels like so smooth, and there's like no seams or anything in it. So yeah, it's just great. And yeah, I pretty much echo everything. I've definitely been loving it. What
I
about
have
you?
one
Oh,
one question about the Pro controller. For this, kind of goes for both of you. Have either of you guys used like the extra buttons they added? Because I've not used them
Yeah,
for
I
anything
have
yet.
used them. I've used them a little bit. They're nice. I like that it's like set up where you can just do it like by game basis instead of like
That
Hmm.
having the back
Yep.
button set for a specific button. You have to go and change. I like that it's just a game profile.
That is the key because on most pro controllers like that I've used in the past, it's that you set it and it's by the system basically. Like whatever you set it to, it's that for every game. So it's nice when this you do it game by game. But I do sometimes find myself hitting it by accident sometimes.
I'm
Right.
very impressed with the Pro
Yeah.
controller. I probably use like the Switch One Pro controller in all the years of existence, probably like under 100 hours. Like I just, for whatever reason, I
Really?
did not dock my first Switch very often, and then if I did, I would just use the Joy Cons. I'm not really sure why, but I've definitely gotten like already like dozens of hours with the Pro controller on Switch too. It's like
Wait,
just so
so
smooth. It's so light, and the control, like the analog sticks,
Mhm.
feel so smooth. I just love it.
so you're telling me when you docked your Switch One, you would use like the dog face controller?
I would just use my Joy Cons just like loose, like one in each hand.
Interesting. See, I can't. I think that is so weird. It feels so weird to me. I use the Pro controller so much on Switch One, and I've basically only used my Switch Two Pro controller. I've not really used the Joy Cons.
I
Yeah. I
like
mean,
using it. Even now when I dock, I sometimes just use the Joy Cons. I like playing like that with like, just hanging loose, just one in each hand.
it's funny because like Joanna and some of my nephews always hate like I that's how I play without the like the grip that comes across because I lost my Switch One grip. I don't know where it went. So they would always ask for it and I'd be like, I don't know where it is. But now with the Switch 2, I'm like, all right, here it is. I'll keep it here if you guys want to use it because I never use the grip.
Oh, me either.
But I think
Yeah,
I didn't I
okay.
use the Pro controller, but I but just played so much more in handheld before. Where now I dock it a lot more, and which I think is good because one thing I've definitely noticed is the battery life is not the best on this
No.
thing, and I still constantly get that glitch with like the battery percentage being wrong, which in the end it doesn't really matter because like even though it'll say it's at like 5%, it's actually more than that. But the battery life is definitely far worse than the OLED for
Yeah.
sure.
How do you know that you have the glitch? Like, how do you know that it's wrong?
Well, because I have that enabled where it won't charge it'll only charge up to 90% and it almost never even like gets to 90. It'll sit at like 85 or 86 and then if I do like that fix where it resets it, it'll like go back up for a little bit until it does it again. But mine
Interesting.
mostly stays at like 85 or 86%, which is like it's fine, but it's just annoying.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know if I've not. I don't know. I don't have that setting on, and I just kind of play it till it's like down to 10, and then I stop, and then I charge it. So I don't really know. But the battery life is definitely not great. Like when I played Tears of the Kingdom, it was really bad in that. But other games, it hasn't been so bad. Definitely depends on the game.
Right.
I really don't play in handheld mode, so like I think I've used my Switch Two once in handheld mode the entire time I've had it.
Wow. Yeah, I'm like half and half at this point, which is way more than before.
Oh,
Before I
same.
was like 90% handheld, now a bit more half and half. But I'm already starting to get a little bit more handheld. Like at the beginning I was definitely just using a dock just to do it, but now I've gotten to the point now where like yesterday I was playing Spyro on my Switch 2 and I was like literally sitting at my desk and my dock was 2 inches to my right and I didn't dock it. I just still played a handheld sitting in my chair. So I'm getting back to my normal ways.
For me, it's just mainly that if I'm like laying in bed playing it, I'm doing a handheld. But I mostly been like I played a lot of Bug Fables and like indie games work great still. Like they don't really eat the battery, but I've heard like people do tests like Mario Kart gets around 2 hours and stuff, and I'm sure Cyberpunk's even less. But it kind of just depends what power level of game you're playing. But I'm sure in the next version of the Switch 2, it'll fix that, and who knows what they'll add. But yeah, I mean, I can't complain too much other than that. So, all right, why don't we start getting into the games then? Because we have a lot of games to get through. Now, I guess one of the first things that like they Nintendo, I guess, even wants you to start with, which I know Sean, you didn't play this, but Parrot and I both played Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. So, what did you think of it, Parrot?
I thought it was actually more entertaining than I thought it was going to be. I don't know. I think that was definitely my overall sentiment. Like, I don't think it was like some sort of amazing game. Like, I think I gave it like a 3 out of 5. but it was kind of interesting to learn about the process of why they've made the Switch 2 the way it was. And I just honestly, like, the tech demos are like whatever, but the mini games are what's fun. Like
Right.
using the mouse controls was fun, and that's really still the only place I've used them. So I definitely got a kick out of that. What did you think? Like, I don't know that it should have been a lot of money, but it is still more. It was more in depth than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I mean, it probably should have been a pack in, but it also was like $10, which isn't too bad. But yeah, I think like the mini games are definitely the highlight, and some of them are so hard. Like if you try to do like the secret times, like you have to have pro level reflexes on
Yeah,
some of these games. But yeah, like the UFO game was one of my favorite, and like the balloon shooting one, that one kind of reminded me of like Aim Hero that I used to use to play Overwatch. Like I would practice my aim. And yeah, the mini games are great. The demos are fun. But yeah, it has tons of just like quizzes. And of course, I felt like I had to do them all, which I did. But most people are probably going to skip all that. But some,
yeah,
like, as a techie nerd, it was fun to like see why they did certain things, like why they put like the cooling system where they did, or they moved a chip away from the heater and stuff like that. But compared to like Astrobot, which was or Astro's Playroom, which was on
oh
PS5,
yeah,
that game was way better than
yeah.
Welcome Tour as a starter.
Like this does not compare to something like that. It's better than it sounds, but it still like is basically what it sounds like. It's just a bunch of tech demos and little mini games, and that's like about it. Like it's like I would never play this again, but I enjoyed playing it my one time for 5 hours or
Same.
whatever. Also, I liked that the mini game showed off all the parts of the console. Like one other one I liked was where you played Twister with your own fingers on
Oh
the
yeah.
touchscreen. But I also thought it was really funny that you had to like put in like a Morse code, and you probably didn't have to do this, but you could put in like a Morse code and skip mini games, and it would just give you the
Oh, the
badges for
medals. Yeah,
beating
I
it.
did use that for some of them because some of the
Yeah,
games I didn't like, so I just like
well, yeah. So just used it. I used it. I didn't do it on any of the ones I could play, but there were like multiple that I could not play because I didn't have the right kind of monitor or whatever. So I'm like, okay, I just it's funny that it locks things out from you, but it is nice that it at
right.
least lets you skip it.
Yes, I don't know, Sean, if you have any interest in playing it, but really, I mean, it was great for like a first Switch game, but I'm like I said, if it were free, it would be an easy to recommend. But for $10, I guess it's up to if you'd be curious about it or not.
Yeah, I really don't have any interest in this. I think it's crazy though that this wasn't like a pack in, and the fact that to do everything doesn't it cost like it's going to cost you like 120 $130
Well,
plus you need
yeah,
to have a 4K TV.
yeah, you need a 4K just for the Mario, like the Mario level. You need a 4K TV, and then you need a Pro controller, obviously.
And a camera.
Yeah.
But and oh, yeah, you need a camera, which I just plugged my regular webcam in. But yeah, you'd need that. I don't think are those the only things you need. I know they talk about like the charge grip, but I don't think you
You
actually
don't need it.
ever needed it.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
also
I
like
think
I
the
said,
4K TV is kind of the big thing
yeah,
there.
like I said, I
Right.
just skipped it. Like I just put in the little Morse code and got the credit for doing the mini game and skipped it. So it all worked out.
But yeah, nothing too remarkable. But like Parrot said, I enjoyed what I played it. But I'll probably never go back unless I want people to like try and beat my high scores in the mini games. The one like where you have to feel the rumble, I feel so bad at those games. Like
Oh,
I'm
I was
like I
horrible at
barely
that.
can tell.
The
FPS
So
can
you,
be
the
challenging too, but
The FPS one was like my Dark Souls, man. Like it was like, is this
I did
60 or
pretty good
40? I'm like,
actually. But yeah,
damn,
it
I do
can be
not
tough.
know. There was one where it's like, is this 40 or is this 120? And I'm like, oh, it's 40, and it was 120. Like, damn, I really don't know what I'm doing.
so you're telling me this is no Nintendo Land on the Wii U?
I never played
No,
that, so I don't know.
Oh,
I didn't play a lot of Nintendo Land, and I'd like to play at some point, but I'm just gonna say no, it's not.
okay.
All right, well, why don't we talk about a game that we did all play, and that is Mario Kart World. So, this is the big launch game that we all got with our consoles, hopefully, if we wanted it, because obviously you saved $30 if you did that. And yeah, we can all talk about our experiences, but I know Parrot and I really liked it. Sean, I don't think you're quite as high on it, but I haven't really like loved a Mario Kart since Double Dash. I mean, I guess I did play a lot. I can't remember if I played Mario Kart DS before or after Double Dash, but I really like that one. And the 3DS one was okay. Obviously, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was fun, but I didn't enjoy playing it as much as Double Dash or even this game, where I feel like World is just so much fun to just drive around and do the tricks, and it just feels so much more boppy than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe does. And Knockout Tour is one of the best modes for sure that Nintendo has. They need to keep that in like every Mario Kart. The Grand Prix were fun. I basically just did them and was done with them. I'm just gonna do Knockout Tour now, and I did enjoy the collecting stuff in the open world, but I wish there was a way to track more stuff because I would probably try to get everything. But yeah, I definitely really like this game.
Yeah, I would just piggyback on mostly everything you said because the last Mario Karts that I liked were also DS and Double Dash. I don't dislike all the other ones, but I've not really loved any of them since then. So this is definitely my favorite one in a really long time. I definitely could see some of the complaints. Like it is a little bit annoying that like the Grand Prix and involve like basically just like you doing one lap on the courses and then
Right.
driving in between them. Like that's sometimes feels a little lame. But I do think the courses themselves are really cool, especially the Rainbow Road. It's just like insane.
And
But
unlocking the enemy characters is stupid how they do it with like you have to have Kamek randomly unlock it in certain like maps
yeah,
that a CPU or another player does, which is like the weirdest way to do it. I don't know why they thought that was a good idea.
no, me either. But it didn't really bother me. Like I have all the costumes. I don't think I have all the enemy characters. I feel like that's just like something at some point I
You'll
will
get,
have, but
yeah.
who knows?
All right, so I'm gonna preface this before. I am not the biggest Mario Kart fan. I always
Yeah, me
preferred
either.
other, racing games compared to Mario Kart. But I am gonna say I do like Mario Kart World, but it is near the bottom of my Mario Kart rankings. Like I would much rather play Double Dash, DS, 3DS, Wii, and Mario Kart 8 over this game. The reason why is a big thing here. I do love Knockout Tour. I think Knockout Tour is a great addition, but I think that the driving to the next course in the Grand Prix mode is really annoying. That it's not just the traditional 3 laps. I think it takes away from each individual map. It makes it really hard to it makes any of the courses really difficult to like stand out and like be memorable in my mind. I think that's really good for Knockout Tour, and like I
Yeah.
think that's a really cool concept, but I think they should just they should have just kept that for Knockout Tour.
I definitely can agree with that because yeah, I feel like they made it for Knockout Tour and it works perfect for that. But yeah, for Grand Prix, and then they added like basically when you do versus races online, they basically just
Yeah.
did a patch where you mostly are going to get those one lap tracks. But another thing, which I'm sure this game's going to get updates and patched and change things because it's going to be like it's going to be a game that's going to go on as long as Switch 2 does and maybe even beyond. But they need to fix the thing in Knockout Tour where you can't like Sean and I played a little bit before and we couldn't like join a Knockout Tour together like
Yeah,
in a group. Like you have to just randomly get matched up with each
Yeah.
other, which is just stupid. Like it should just be able to add 2 or 5 or however many people are in your party to whatever people are looking for a Knockout Tour, but
You
hopefully
can't
they fix
even
that.
play in like an online lobby with your friends from which is weird because in the Wii U version and like Mario Kart 8 you could,
Mhm.
and all the older ones you could do that. I don't know why they didn't do that here.
yeah. It's
Harping off what you guys said about the unlocking the characters, it's really kind of weird. I wish they kind of incorporated that more into the open world aspect where like
Mhm.
maybe you'll find them on the map and you have to like race them to unlock them. I don't know. I found this game to be good. I feel like maybe they even rushed it just to get it ready for the Switch 2 launch because I think there's a lot of quality of life things they could have improved upon or, worked a little bit more on like the maybe give you the option for the Grand Prix modes to do like, hey, why don't we just do
Mhm.
the traditional 3 lap races? I also, this is just a nitpick, but like the roster, I hate how each individual costume has its own slot. That's just like a random nitpick
Yeah,
I
that
have.
is annoying.
It's
I
it's
also
just kind
wish
of
they also like don't have enough costumes for like DK and like Pauline, which maybe they're gonna
well,
get more with
yeah. I
DK
think there's a reason for that.
Bonanza. But yeah, like some characters only have like one costume, like DK. It's like, come on.
And like you know how you collect all the coins? Like
Yep.
that'd be cool to have like a marketplace where you spend those coins to unlock the costumes. If like instead of just if you can't find them, because some of it's RNG, because it could just be a random like you might just get a random costume and you
Right.
might be looking for one and never get it. So maybe just have like a marketplace where you could spend the coins. Also, I think the rubber banding in this game is maybe the worst it's been in a long time.
I think it's because there's so many people. I have to
That's
imagine,
true.
right?
Yeah,
It's because
that is
like
true.
you're
Yeah,
in fourth and you're doing good, and then you get hit by one shell, and all of a sudden you're in 12th, and you get hit by something else, and all of a sudden, wow,
yeah,
you're in 20th. It's like, okay, that's not really very fair. And then because of that, you get some sort of power item to get yourself back to fourth, and
yeah.
so it's just kind of crazy.
But
But
again, this is coming from someone who is so much more used to playing like Crash Team Racing, which is so much more of a skill based racer compared to Mario Kart, where Mario Kart's much more casual. So I don't know. But all in all, I do like it. I do have fun with it, but I don't think I'm going to be playing it unless other people are playing it. Like, I'll never go back and do it by myself again. I did all the Grand Prix. That's good. I don't have any interest in the open world stuff due to the lack of the checklist. It's kind of like I kind of wish they had that checker and that tracker because
Right.
that would be much more enticing for me.
Which is a
But like
shame
I,
because those P switches are so fun. Like it's like back to the DS challenges basically.
which were awesome because like Mario Kart DS was great. But yeah, so not saying it's a bad game, but it's closer to the bottom of my list for Mario Kart games.
All right. So yeah, that's Mario. Did you guys have anything else you want to talk about
no,
Mario Kart? I'm sure, like I said, it's going to keep evolving too. So all right, so why don't we get into some farming now? Because Sean and I both played a type of farming where Fantasy Life isn't just farming. But see, I decided to play Fantasy Life I, the girl who leapt through time, and I mainly like I got that, and I wasn't gonna play it right away, but my Rune Factory copy got so delayed. Like it was basically like Sean with his Switch to like a week or week plus, I think, until I actually got it. I don't know what happened, but so I was in the mood for it. I decided to play it. I had heard like some people say like the original Fantasy Life on 3DS is like their favorite 3DS game, but I just kind of ignored it until now. And then this game, everybody was raving about it, and I always thought it looked kind of interesting. So I checked it out, and I definitely liked it. I think it's cool that you have like I think it's like 12 different jobs you can do where you basically switch between these jobs and you have like some tasks you can work with to try to level up. And so basically like if you can be like a blacksmith and you can make weapons and armor, and then since you do that you're also a paladin or like a warrior, and you can use the armor and weapons you make, which is cool. And then you can be like a cook and you can catch fish as a fisherman, so you can cook the fish and use that as you go on adventures. The one complaint I do have is that a lot of the jobs like fall into similar types of things you're doing. So like the blacksmith, the tailor, the cook, I can't remember all of them, all have like the same type of mini games. So you're basically doing like the same thing. Whereas like it's the same pretty much with the different jobs that you use like to attack. Like you have ranger, which uses a bow, a magician that does magic, and then a paladin. But they all have like the same type of goals. Like you have to beat these certain enemies with them. But then you have like the woodcutter, which you are obviously just they're cutting wood, and then the fisherman, which is catching fish. But it can definitely start to feel a little checklisty because that's a lot what it is. Because the game does have a main story and characters and stuff you can explore, but it's definitely on the back burner compared to the actual jobs that you do. So I think this game is great to play like in chunks. Like if it's not your only game, like you just want to play an hour or so a day, it's perfect for that because you really feel accomplished. But it was like my main game for a while, so I did get a little burnout at the end just because you're doing a lot of the same things over and over again. But I do think it's definitely fun and worth checking out. I wouldn't necessarily say it's like farming focused. One of the jobs is farming, but it's more just like it's a lot like Animal Crossing with more combat, I feel like, in my opinion, which I'm not a big Animal Crossing guy, but I don't know if any I know Sean, you're interested in playing this. I don't know about you, Parrot.
Yeah, no, I am very interested in this game. I've heard great things. I love what like the art style of the game. It reminds me of. Do you guys remember Fat Princess?
Yep.
Yes.
It reminds me just like what that looks like. So I'm super interested. I never played the 3DS version, but I did have a friend who played it. I am interested in the overall like this concept of like this like time travel in this game. I'm very interested in time travel, so that's like huge for me, which is pretty cool. I like the idea of all the different classes. I think it's really cool how you can recruit people to help you with combat, and you can assign different jobs and job systems to your character. I do like farming games. Farming games are fun, which is funny because like I hate like I'm not like a green thumb person in real life. Like I don't have like a garden in my own house or anything. But I love farming games. So this is pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna hop into it right away just because I just did Rune Factory, which is another type of farming game. But from what you're saying, I think Rune Factory is a little bit more hardcore compared to this, which is funny because calling
Right.
Rune Factory hardcore is kind of funny.
Yeah, that's why I figured I would be more interested in Rune Factory, which we can start talking about it if unless Parrot has some more to say about
No,
Fantasy Life. But
no, I'll go for it.
all right, yeah, because that's why I was going to play Rune Factory first and then Fantasy Life later. But yeah, tell me, I've heard this is so I've for history's sake, I've played the original Rune Factory on DS and I think it's 4 special on 3DS, and I really liked both of them. But I tried to play 5 on Switch, and it made me physically sick because of how bad the performance was. But I've heard this one's one of the better ones.
Yeah, so I've only played Rune Factory 4 and 5. So I did play 5 on Switch. This is by far the best one. So this is essentially Rune Factory 6. They don't call it 6. It's Legends of Azuma. This game is awesome. It is like how I would describe Rune Factory. It's like a combination of Animal Crossing, Animal Crossing. Every game I say here, it's like the light version. So it's like
Hmm.
Animal Crossing cross Persona cross
Like Harvest Moon too.
Harvest Moon cross like like generic action JRPG. Um, that's how I would describe it. It is a lot of fun. The wide cast of characters is insane. There are so many characters you can just make go on bonds with. There's so many events to have like bonding and dating and dating things. There's so many different things to do. Like you have 4 different villages. Each one is based on a different season. So the things that you grow in your farm, it will depend on what season it is because certain things grow better in other seasons. You have to manage your village because you're the chief of each village. The combat is actually really fun and actually kind of gets really challenging, especially towards the end because there's a huge like a level scale. Like there's a huge level boost at the end of the game where the enemies get really strong. I'm playing on hard mode as well. There's a variety of different combat options. Like you have bows, you have short swords, you have long swords, and when you're doing your level up system, you have to level up each individual one differently, like for skill points. So like you might be like level 90 in the game, and like that overall impacts like your strength. But if you never use short swords, you're like, I'm gonna use a short sword, you're gonna be a lot weaker than if you were used to using long swords. Um there's a lot of different cool abilities too. Like you have like you're an earth dancer, so you have like a sacred drum, you have sacred drum, you have like a sacred fan, you have a sacred umbrella, which lets you like float through the sky. But they all have certain powers because you're trying to cure blight because the whole universe is basically being killed from this blight. The game's awesome. The story is super dark and super compelling though, and it gets like really emotional at times. I really enjoyed the main story. I played 75 hours of the game. I pretty much 100%ed it. I didn't do a couple of things, but those things are like not really tracked. There's a ton of side quests to do. You can get married in the game, and there are a plethora of characters to choose from to marry. Your protagonist can be male or female. I find it funny in games when you can name your character, but if you name them something other than the default name, like when they're talking, like to you, like they just don't say your name. They just skip over the name part, the dialogue. I always find that funny.
Yeah, that is
Um,
funny.
But yeah, I ended up marrying one of the summer god. I'm not gonna say her name because it's kind of a spoiler because she's not in one of the original characters. Like she's like a surprise character. So I ended up marrying her. You can have a kid with the character too, which is kind of cool. Um, the diversity in area is really awesome. There's a lot of different enemies. Overall, it was really fun. The writing was real. Some of the characters are really funny. Some of them are really like heartwarming, like some of the stories. The bonding quest, I 100%ed every single bonding quest, and some of the characters I got really attached to. For example, there's one character named Kai. I'm not going to say what he is or what his whole backstory is, but that story really hit home. There's a character named Hina. She's one of the first characters you can get. She's like an explorer and adventurer. Her bonding was awesome. You really learn a lot about her and why she's doing what she's doing, like why she goes on these expeditions, why she's so obsessed with history. And it really was a good time. I really enjoyed my time with it. It is the best Rune Factory game. I would highly suggest it for Switch 2. I would highly suggest it to anyone, really.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited. I'm probably gonna play it later in the fall. Probably maybe after DK. It'll either be my next big Switch 2 game or the one after that. But yeah, I'm glad to hear it's one of the better ones, especially after 5 was disappointing. So
Yeah, I got really obsessed with maintaining the happiness of all my villagers and all my different villages. So it is kind of a lot to manage when you have the 4 different villages and you're running around trying to manage it because you have people moving in, you have to assign them to jobs like in stores and stuff. But every morning I'd wake up, I'd run out at like 6 because you wake up at 6 a.m. I'd run out. I would do like my bonding events and then I would go and farm and I would make sure my villagers are assigned to the right jobs. I'd go to the smither and try to make sure like, hey, what weapons can I build? And the upgrade system's really cool. Overall, like I said, it's a great game. It is there's a lot of good quality of life aspects they updated from Rune Factory 5. And yeah, there's a lot of different clothing options too. There's a lot of customization. It's fun.
did you use mouse mode at all? Because I've heard that's actually pretty good on it.
Yes. So I did use the mouse mode for the so like when you're in like the building aspect of your village, you can use mouse mode and it makes things super convenient and super easy. It almost reminded me of like back on Rune Factory 4 how you could use a touchscreen for building.
Yep.
And it made things super fast, super easy, and super quick. And if you don't want to use the mouse mode, there is an option where you can go like into like an isometric view, and you can just use like the control stick, and that's pretty easy too. Instead of having to go to like each individual tile to farm. So yeah, overall, great game. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Are you interested in this one at all, Parrot?
No, I think both these last two are just kind of like games I feel like there is a reality where I would like them, but I just don't see myself getting to them. I think
Other
I just like Animal Crossing. I think I'm just like good with that. I'll wait for like a new one of those, and I don't really need one other than
yeah.
That's
that.
fine.
This is like a more intense Animal Crossing because you
Yeah,
have like, the
which
combat and the fighting, and if you die, you don't actually you get like knocked out, and then you're there's a god that like is like following you around. He's like a dragon. He gets mad at you anytime you get knocked out. He's like, "What's wrong with you? You have to secure yourself."
yeah, I'll definitely have more to say about this later because, like, thanks to GameStop, I didn't get to play it right away, but that's fine. I got to play Fantasy
Yeah,
Life.
there's a super addicting for a person like me who like really is like I need to manage this. I need to manage this. I need to like micromanage everything. It got very addicting very quickly.
All right. Well, these next couple games will go a little quicker through. So I played Fury, which is not a new game at all. I just randomly had it on. I got it, I think, during an eShop sale because it was like $2. Have either of you played this? I'm curious.
No, I don't really know what it is, other than I've seen a couple pictures when you posted them.
Yeah, I've played it. It's super fun.
Yeah, so it's really short. So you would like that pair. It's only like 3 hours. I think it took me a little over 3 hours, but it's basically like a boss rush game. So it has some like twin stick shooter elements, like your character's in this prison, and then this other character just like helps you break out, and you have to fight through the wardens of the prison to get out to freedom. And you can do that. You basically have these bullet shooting parts, usually at the beginning of the boss fights. And then after that, it turns more into like a one on one Souls type. Like you have your normal attacks and you have like a counter and parry. and it's all it is boss fights. Like the time in between, you can even just hit a button and you'll auto walk to the next boss fight while the characters are talking or the music is going. But I had a ton of fun. Like the bosses are really fun, they're all unique, and I did like the secret boss at the end, which was definitely the hardest fight for me. But yeah, it's super short and it's fun. It's definitely I ranked it pretty high, so I liked it a lot.
Yeah, and there's a variety, like you said, the boss design. There's a lot of different variety with them. I like how the in between sections kind of act as cutscenes, but like
Yeah.
they're designed to be the cutscenes because they're telling you more about the story. But even if like you're not interested in that, the gameplay is just super fun. So like that's what kind of carries the game. And there's 3 different endings, so like it offers replayability. And like you had said, Straw, it's like really short, so like
Mm-hmm.
it's so you could easily get all 3 endings in like a span of a few days.
Looks cool. I would probably
Yeah,
like it.
I think you'd like it. It's not too. I just played on normal. I think you have to play on normal at first. But it doesn't lock in hard mode, but it wasn't too difficult. I don't think I died till like the 7th or 8th boss, or maybe it was a
Mm.
little before that. But I mean, it's challenging, but not like souls crushing my soul.
Yeah.
Challenging.
And it's like a normal game, right? It's not like,
Yeah.
oh, you lost on boss 7, you have to do them all over again.
No, you just can redo it right away again.
Then I'm interested.
You
Did you,
usually
Straw,
have like basically 3 lives during each fight, and if you beat a phase, you get your life like an extra life back. So you really can make it most of the way till some of the hard bosses at the end are harder. But
Straw, did you play the DLC fight? The one more fight? It's the cyborg
I don't
boss.
think I got the DLC with it. I'll have
Okay,
to go
because
look at
I
that.
bought it. I did it on. I got it on PlayStation 5. Like they released a PS5 version in 3 years ago, basically, and it came with the DLC. So that's why I was wondering.
I think we do have it on Steam Parrot, even though I know we've abandoned our Steam decks. But
Yes, we have. Mine's covered in dust somewhere.
Down with the Steam Deck.
And then, real quick, the other game I played was Bayonetta 1. So
Ooh.
I've always heard people like love this series, especially the second game. I've heard is the best. People are mixed on 3. People really like 1 as well. But there was a bundle on Switch. I actually got this one digital. There was like a bundle with 1 and 2 because I think I don't even know if there is a physical copy of 1. There probably is somewhere, but it's harder to get.
I don't think there is on Switch.
Okay.
The
Well,
only reason I know is because this is a game that I bought. There was like an era where I don't know if you remember, like Amazon would give you 20% off new
oh
games.
yeah.
Oh
So
my god, I
I
remember that
bought
day.
this, and it was a digital code for 1 and like an actual cartridge of 2.
Yep,
And
that's
then I
right.
proceeded to still never play them. So
There
good thing I
is
got
a
20% off though.
yeah, there is a physical copy for Switch.
Okay, they
Okay.
must have came out later then, because I remember it being a download code with 2, like Parrot said. But yeah, they must have added it later. But anyway, so I got this one, and one of my friends growing up like loved this game. It's like one of his favorites. But so I played it. I definitely enjoyed it, but it is definitely from that era of 360, PS3 jank. Like just it looks very ugly on Switch, I gotta say. Especially it looks better in handheld mode than it does blowing up on my 4K monitor because everything's like very fuzzy and like just messy looking. But I will say the one thing that holds up is the combat is still really fun. Like getting which time when you dodge and get counters. The boss fights are phenomenal. All of them are great, especially like the focus boss fights. I will say which I don't like this about these type of games, but I can also ignore it. Like it grades your like every fight and every part of the level you get a grade, and then at the end you get like I don't know. I think it's like gold, platinum, bronze, stone is like the worst. But they like penalize you so heavily in this game. Like if you die, you're basically gonna get a bad score. And it's also back to that era where they love quick time events and they brutally punish you when you miss these quick time events. Like I'll be watching a cutscene and won't be paying attention. I've had to hit a button real quick, and if I didn't, I die, and then you basically are screwed. But yeah, I enjoyed the game. I think the boss fights were the highlight. The regular levels would get kind of annoying at times, but I liked it enough. I'm gonna play Bayonetta 2 because I've heard people love that one, and that's like a better game than this one. So I did enjoy it at the end. If you like the actiony combat type games, you should check it out.
Yeah, my sister loves this series. It's one of her favorite series. She really enjoys it. My only history with Bayonetta 1 is when it came out on Wii U. I remember I was a freshman in college and I was playing it. And I remember these like girls came in my room. They were like hanging out with my roommates and they were like, what the heck what is on this screen right now?
It is
And I
adult.
felt
Yeah, it has very adult, like cheeky type jokes, which is
yeah,
funny because like the
they thought I was very weird.
story in this game is nonsense. Like it does not matter at all, but the characters are actually endearing enough that kept me entertained. But the story like is very like tries to be very like convoluted and stuff. I'm just like, I don't really care. Sorry.
It's funny because like I said, my sister loves it, and she's like she knows all the story lore and all that. But I never played 2, 3, and then they had that spin-off game that was like almost like it wasn't like a
Yeah.
2D plat.
Yeah,
Like
it's
that
like
looked
an
really
indie
cool.
game.
Yeah,
I'm like intrigued to play these at some point. I mean, I own them, so I should, but I don't know. I've like not been drawn to them other than when I bought them and I didn't play them. But so maybe at some point, I'm trying
Yep.
to go through all these Nintendo series that I haven't played. So I guess
Right.
that it technically counts. So I don't know.
I mean
Yeah.
she's in Smash Bros.
She is. Yeah, I'll definitely play 2 at a later
Wow.
date. I'd need a little break from it, but it's just funny because it took me back to the era when the game developers were obsessed with QuickTime events and like the brown gray like graphics. I'm just like, okay.
the good old days.
All right. Well, the next game we'll talk about is Pokemon Scarlet. Sean, is that one of yours?
Yeah, I've been playing it. Yeah, Parrot, you haven't been playing it, right?
Well, I played it before, but I've not played the Switch 2
Okay, you
version.
haven't played it. Okay, so
Well, technically, I played Violet. I want to apologize. I played Violet,
whoa,
not
settle
Scarlet.
down there. Settle down
See,
there.
that's the one
Scarlet, good.
I got Pokemon Violet. I'm gonna be playing it here coming up. So I'm sorry, Sean. I like purple was
Okay.
always my favorite color growing up, so that's why I chose Violet.
It's all good. So I have some good news and I have some bad news. The good news, it runs incredibly well on Switch 2. Like this screams like it should have run when it came out. Super fun, classic Pokemon. The bad news is it is still near the bottom of my list of I wouldn't put this anywhere higher than um, the like D or C tier of Pokemon games in terms of how good it is. But if you like Pokemon, you'll probably like the game. Especially if you're not into a lot of like if you're not into like hardcore Pokemon like me, as apparently as evident from our Pokemon episode that me and Parrot did. I do like the idea of going to you can do the gyms in any order. That is
Mhm.
that's very different, very cool. It is definitely better than Sword and Shield. I'll give it that.
Yes.
And it's better than X and Y. I'll give it that too.
The two ones I actually played and
Yeah,
like
there you go.
okay.
Those are
So
bad.
then maybe it's good for you. I do like the setting and the setting of the game too. I do like the different Pokemon variety too, but none of the starters. The only starter I really liked was like Quaxley was kind of cool, but I
Yeah,
didn't
that's
really
what
like
I
any of
picked.
the other ones. I kind of like duck. It's funny. I like ducks, but I hate like ducks in real life. Like I like animated and like fake ducks.
It's funny.
But the game runs incredibly well. There's not really a stutter or a stagger. The frames don't drop to like 10 frames per second, which is good. But yeah, I think you'll enjoy it. That's all I really have to say. I mean, it's Pokemon. Like, there's not really much to say. The game's really easy as always, especially coming off playing like all those like legacy games.
Yeah. Which this is a Switch 2 episode, so I'm not going to get to talk about it, but I did play Pokemon Yellow Legacy. So
It's great.
it was great.
Isn't the story better in this game? I've heard, or
It's better than Sword and Shield, yeah, but nothing will top
I mean,
like.
better
I
on
mean,
like a Pokemon standard. Most Pokemon
Yeah.
stories.
I would say this in terms of. I mean, I think Gen 5 for I think like those games are better story wise, but this is definitely an improvement on some of the like newer games story wise.
Well, wait till you get to the end. Maybe that'll change your tune.
This is going to be my 5th Pokemon game, I think, because my current ranking, which you guys are just going to roll over from Disgust. But I played Fire Red on GBA. That's probably my favorite Pokemon I played. I also liked Arceus a lot. That's probably my second.
Arceus is good. Yeah.
Then it would be X and Y, and then Sword and
Ugh.
Shield. That would be my.
Ugh.
Those are my
Yeah.
4 I played, and Violet will be my 5th.
I'm excited for Legends EA though. I think
Me
this
too.
bodes well for that.
Yep, I agree. I'm looking forward to that. Only a few more months.
Yep.
Day one.
All right, so why don't we get into? We can talk about both of these because we've all played them to an extent. I don't know if Sean's finished Tears of the Kingdom, but let's talk about
I
Breath of the Wild.
haven't started
We
it
didn't
yet.
even start it. So yeah, let's talk about Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
So I did Breath of the Wild. So I had that free update because of the Nintendo. I don't have to pay the extra $10. So I decided, you know what? The notorious Breath of the Wild hater Sean Mason is gonna try to jump back into the world of Hyrule, this giant open world. I played about 12, 13 hours. So I'm just kind of running around the world. And this is coming from someone who already, I hate it, but I put 300 hours into the game originally. That's how much I hate it. But so it runs really well on Switch 2. Not that it didn't run great on Switch 1, it did run great, but I definitely noticed there's in areas in the Switch 1 where the frame rate would drop or would stutter a little bit. It just definitely doesn't do that. It looks a lot smoother. It feels great to play. Again, I'm still in the camp that this is a good game, but not a great Zelda game. I'm still in that camp. I do have fun though, running around collecting Korak seeds, and some of the shrines are cool. I am missing that dungeon aspect of Zelda though. Like I said, I just really kind of wanted to see how it would look on Switch 2. It does have me interested in Tears of the Kingdom though, because I've heard people say that once you play Tears of the Kingdom, it's kind of like you really don't want to go back to Breath of the Wild, and it does improve on that. And then I've heard that some people who didn't like Breath of the Wild and said, not that they didn't like it, but they said that it wasn't a good Zelda game, have told me that, I think that they think that I will enjoy Tears of the Kingdom. So I am kind of looking forward to that. I do like naming my horses though. I do get attached to that. That is pretty cool. And I'm looking forward to the section where you can buy the house. I haven't got there yet. You can buy your own house.
Yeah, so it's funny because I do think you probably would like Tears of the Kingdom more because in my experience, I think Tears of the Kingdom's a better game. But I kind of like Breath of the Wild a little more, just mainly because it's what got me really into Zelda, I guess. Because I talked about it before, growing up, I really didn't play many Zeldas. Wind Waker was like the only one, which I liked, but I didn't get any of the other Zelda games. And then I got Breath of the Wild. I'm like, oh, I love this. So I actually got both of the Switch 2 editions. I haven't played them yet. I do want to go back and play. I feel like Breath of the Wild's a lot more simple with the abilities. Tears of the Kingdom has a little more complexity. And I think the story and the final boss battle in Tears of the Kingdom is really good. I thought that was one of the best parts. But Parrot, I think you just played Tears of the Kingdom, right?
Yeah, so remember I had bought it at launch and I played like 5 hours of it and dropped it because I was not feeling it.
Which hurt me because we were playing it at the same time.
Yeah. Well, I had done all the Zelda marathon leading up to it, and I played like Majora's Mask, Twilight Princess, Oracle games all for the first time. So I got to Tears of the Kingdom, like, wow, this is not those. And I kind of just was not in the mood for it, and I just put it down. So then, yeah, so this has been the bulk. This was the bulk of my month. Like on our list of Switch 2 games, I literally just wrote this one because this is the only game I really played. It took me like 50-ish hours, but I did play the entire thing finally for the first time, and I really liked it. I liked it a lot more than I thought I was going to. Like Breath of the Wild is a game that I really liked, and like it's almost nostalgic for just that time. I just remember playing it when Switch 1 had just come out, and I just think that this game now will be synonymous with Switch 2 launch for me. It's like almost like I only want to play these games at console launches, I guess, but I really liked it. I think that the new powers are much more enjoyable than the first game. Like I honestly don't even really remember a lot of the powers in the first game at this point.
Does it
But
like the bomb and the magnet?
Yeah.
What else is it, Sean? I know you just played it.
Bomb, magnet. You have the freezing ability.
Yeah, I just think they're kind of forgettable. While this game, like you're definitely not going to forget like jumping and like zooming through the walls, and of
which
course
is
the ultra
great.
hand is like the main thing, and you pretty much use that like 70% of the time. But I like the structure of wandering around doing the little temples, or you're doing the temples, which are they're still not quite Zelda dungeons, but they're definitely a lot closer than the Divine Beasts were, which are nice. Like I think Sean will like those. But yeah, I think it's just a nice blend of a couple more traditional Zelda elements while still sticking with like the very open-ended puzzle solving. And the new powers are awesome. And I do like that you have like the sky world and the underworld to explore, even though I don't think either of them are like as enjoyable as just the main world.
Right. It's
But
funny because the underworld, like I basically once I got my what's it called, the glider, I just like zoomed off completely from the main story, and you
yeah,
like
me too.
discover the underground right after that. So I didn't do like discover the underground till the very end of the game. So I really didn't do much underground. I did like the sky stuff, but yeah, just the main high roll is like the best part, I feel like.
Yeah, and I kind of wish I had been forced to go down there first, because I didn't go down there for like 25 hours,
Yep.
and then like there's the power down there where you can just like automatically build a vehicle that you've built before. Like, oh,
Hmm.
this probably would have made a lot of the game different if I had been able to just do this. But I didn't really find until like the last like 15 hours, I really didn't use the vehicles that much. I used them when I needed to, but I still just like went around on my horse or just running around. Like I didn't really interact. I didn't really like just finding the carts and building vehicles and then just using them for 10 minutes or 10 seconds and then just wandering off anyways. Like it wasn't a big part of my loop. So I kind of played it like Breath of the Wild and just occasionally did the vehicles. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed it quite a lot.
Forgive me for my ignorance. This game has shrines as well, right?
Yeah, it
Yes, it
does.
does.
Does it have 100? Is it 120 like Breath of the Wild?
No clue.
Yeah, I'm
I
not.
didn't do all
It's
of them.
probably something like that. I didn't do all of them.
Yeah.
When I replay these, I'm
Okay.
gonna try to do every shrine because I.
Yeah.
I did a lot, but like I
What?
think I probably did like 70 of them. And it's probably the same in Breath of the Wild. Like I never have gone for like all
Yeah.
the shrines or anything. And I did like I honestly did not do that many Korok seeds. Like I see that little guy like rolled over. He's like, "Help me
Yeah.
go over there." I'm like, "Yeah, no, I'm good. I don't want to help you anymore.
There's a
I helped
hundred.
you like I've helped you like 10 times. I'm
I
good with it.
know.
I
It's
got you. Just
there's
suffer. I don't care."
152 shrines, Sean, in Tears of the
Okay.
Kingdom.
All right. I just think, yeah, it's like I 100%ed, bro. Well, did all the shrines and I got like 400 Korok seeds or how 300 and something or 400, something like that. I was just curious about this game.
Yeah, I'm gonna use a
I will be.
guide.
I'm not gonna keep playing Breath of the Wild on Switch 2. When I play my next Zelda game, it will be Tears of the Kingdom. So,
Nice.
Nice.
and
I
that
will
will
say.
be discussed next
I
time.
will say this, Sean. One thing you should be happy about is both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom got me going to play all the Zelda games because
Yeah,
we'll
the
talk
good
about
Zelda
it
games.
later. But I'm playing the other, or I played a couple other ones, but
Yeah, you can
yeah.
say the good ones.
Well, I wouldn't say they're the ones I've played so far. I wouldn't say are better than these two, but we'll get
Whoa! That's because you haven't played the CDI games yet. That's why.
right, right. I'm still waiting on my Tears of the Kingdom copy. By the way, I don't. There's been like a storm or something. Is there like a hurricane going on? Because like the mail, that one's coming in the mail, and it's been delayed for like a week. I don't know what's going on.
USPS. What are you gonna do?
Yep. All right. Well, the next game I'm gonna. This was probably my favorite. This actually, not probably. This was the best game I played on Switch 2 so far, and it's
Yes,
not even a
sir.
Switch 2 game. Like I already had it on Steam, I think, and regular Switch, but I just hadn't played it all of it, and it's Bug Fables. Now we know Sean loves this game. He did an episode with Pood on why you should play about it. And we're going to do an episode probably here shortly talking about my thoughts because I just absolutely adored this game. Like it's what you want out of a Paper Mario game. Like it's a Paper Mario with bite because you want like I feel like all of them, all of like the original two Paper Marios, I should say, because you have the same battle system, you have the same style. They even did a great job emulating like the writing style and the characters. The side quests are great in this game, which is one thing Paper Mario did not do good at. But they do great fleshing out the characters. You really only have three characters you focus on rather than the party members, which I did kind of miss getting new party members, but it made so they could really expand the combat, and having an optional hard mode is great too. But yeah, we'll get more into it later, but I definitely highly recommend you check this out. I went out and bought the physical copy from Limited Run because I like this game so much. So we'll talk about it more later, but I'm trying to get Parrot to want to try it, but
I think Parrot would love it. This game is freaking awesome, and I'm gonna hold off on like to talk about it when we do our episode because there's so much I want to say, and I just don't want to drag on. But this game's freaking rules. Shout out to V.
yeah.
It looks good. I'm sure I would like it, but it's not happening this year. I'm just gonna say.
Yeah, I think
Unless you don't want me to play Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and 3, and you'd rather me
Ooh,
play
that's
this.
tough.
Yeah.
Both of oh,
I do want you to.
There's
I
only
do want you to
so many
play
RPGs
those.
I want to play in a year, so it is what it is.
I will say, Bug Fables is a lot shorter than those games.
Yeah, but as my ever expanding journey to be an expert on all Nintendo, Xenoblade Chronicles is more important to me at this current point.
I mean,
so.
I would
Bug
say,
Fables for Smash.
yeah, both Xenoblade 2 and 3, I would probably rather have you play. I just wish I want you to wait till they do the patches for it, especially for Xenoblade 2. But if you, it probably would be fine.
Me.
So
am I gonna care really? No, probably not.
Probably not.
I do want to say I have 3 Bug Fables t-shirts. That's how much I love the game. I went out and bought t-shirts. Yeah.
I think they announced a new limited edition. Are you gonna get it?
I probably will because I have every edition they've released.
They need to make another game. This came out. Did this come out in 2019? Was it?
November 2019. It came out on Steam, and then on PlayStation and Switch in May of 2020. Xbox 2021.
Okay.
And then they're working on a new game. It's a very, very small team. They're working on a new game right now, and then after that, they're going to do a sequel to Bug Fables.
Great. Yeah, this team's definitely one to watch. Which someday we'll do a top 10 indie game episode, but this could be one of my favorite indie games. It's up there with Hollow Knight and Cuphead for me. I don't know.
This will be one. This will be number 1 for me by far.
All right. Well, I
also kind of want to replay the original Paper Mario before I play it.
Oh yeah, you should.
I have not played Paper Mario 1 since I was in. I want to say I was in 8th grade. So like I have no memory of Paper Mario 1, so I kind of want to. I would appreciate it more if I replayed that one.
There's some things I would say that Paper Mario 1 does better than Thousand Year Door. The combat.
Oh, get out of here!
Listen, Sean, the world connectivity in the original Paper Mario is better.
Oh, that's better, yeah. I mean, I used to speedrun both of the games, so like I've played through each of them well over 1,000 times.
But that's the only thing I think is better. Honestly, everything else is better in Thousand Year Door. But I will say, like, the world and Toad Town is a great hub.
Toad Town's freaking awesome, and the music of Chapter 4 in the original is pretty amazing.
Shout out Tubba Blubba.
I'm gonna try to play that. Like my RPG list for the year is I want to play Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I want to play Paper Mario 1 again, and then I'm gonna, as I told Sean today, I started Golden Sun, so I'm probably gonna play that. And I heard the second one's basically just like the second part, right?
If they release it today, I think it would be one game.
Yeah, so I want to at least play those 2. I don't know that I'll play the third one anytime this year, but
the third one's atrocious.
Okay, so I'll never play it then. So I'm just gonna play.
It's not even. It's connected, but like you could play the third one first. It's like very loosely connected.
If it's atrocious, I can pass.
It's not good. It is not good. I was so disappointed. Last thing before we move on, Paper Mario. Shout out to Cooper, the partner Cooper. I had a phone case in college. It had Cooper on it, and everyone used to be like, "Is that for Paper Mario?" I'm like, "Yes, it is."
Nice. Cooper is better than Cooper. I like Cooper more than Coops.
Cooper is better. He has a nice little X bandage on him.
He has the bandana.
Yep, he's so much cooler.
A lot of the other Thousand Year Door partners are better than their clone counterparts in the original, but not Coops is worse than Cooper. All right, why don't we talk about some NSO, because that was one thing. I mean, it's kind of funny, but I was excited about playing all these old games because even on Switch 1, I really once it first came out, I played some of the games, but I really didn't play the catalog, and especially NES and SNES and even N64. They've added a ton of games since I first checked it out. I got the Super Nintendo controller, one of my favorite controllers of all time. I got the N64 controller, which is not one of my favorite controllers of all time, but it's good for N64 games. And I got the GameCube controller, which is one of the best controllers of all time. So
yeah, I bought all those ones too, and the Super Nintendo one.
I didn't buy the NES one because I don't have any attachment. But if they would ever release a Wiimote, I would buy it because that's another.
Oh my god!
I grew up with the Wii.
They're gonna, right?
I don't know if they do Wii NSO Wii. I'm guessing, but
I assume that won't come anytime soon. But
so what I wanted to do is start at NES. I'm going to work through all these libraries and I'm going to rank every game and at least play every game, not finish every game. Because let me tell you, some of these NES games are just pure garbage. They're so bad. But so far, I played 25 NES games. I think there's I don't know if there's 70 something.
There's a lot. There's a lot.
Now, a lot of them are just like throwaways. Like the sports games, most of them suck. Like they're bad.
Whoa.
Frankly, they're bad. Like they're not like I played soccer for a little bit. That might be the worst game I've played so far. Between that, pro wrestling, and Yoshi. I do not like Yoshi either. I'm sorry.
Oh, Yoshi's terrible, and Yoshi's Cookie's pretty bad too.
My favorite games so far, I've not played Super Mario Brothers 3 yet because I already know that's going to be my favorite game on NES because it's one of the best games ever. So obviously, I'm saving that one for the end. But I played the favorite Super Mario Brothers 2, the original, both great. Dr. Mario, one of the best games on NES. It's so good. And then I played the first 2 Zelda games for the first time. And I gotta say, I like them quite a bit, especially the second one, which I feel like people don't which it is a weird game. I will say it's kind of funny, but now, Sean, is this off base? But I think I liked it more than the original.
It's not off base. No, it's just the original is great. But if you're coming back to it after having played other ones, it's really difficult and it's a lot more obtuse.
Yeah, I had to use a guide for sure.
Yeah, it's very difficult if you don't use a guide. Can you imagine back in like the 80s?
Oh my goodness! Yeah, I would have never beat that game without a guide. Even today, like I just like there's such
burn this random bush.
Yeah, there's so like I feel like Zelda 2 holds up a lot more. Like I did follow a guide a little bit for that game, but I definitely didn't need it as much as the first Zelda. I'm like I don't even know where I'm going. Where Zelda 2 you can like level up and stuff and
Zelda 2 it's from that era of during the NES when they thought that you had to make sequels completely different.
Right.
And so the sequel would often be very different. I like Zelda 2. I think it is the reputation of it has gotten better in the years since. Because I remember when I first found out that Zelda 2 was like that, I know like a lot of my friends growing up, even though we were, I was a 2000s kid, everyone's like, Zelda 2 is terrible. It's the worst one. And I was like, oh, I kind of like it. Just very different. I do have a question for you though, about the NSO. Okay. You said you've played like 24 games, right?
25. Yep.
Have you played Mappy Land yet?
I don't think I've just been playing the order that they were added in NSO, so I don't think I've got to that one yet. So yeah,
when you get to Mappy Land, you need to let me know.
Okay. I don't have any recollection of what that game even is.
Parrot, look it up. Parrot, look up Mappy Land. Straw, do not look it up. Parrot, I want you to look it up.
Yeah, so I'll just give you the games I played so far. I played Mario 2, Mario 1, all the ones I mentioned. I played Ninja Gaiden, which I really like. Tecmo Bowl is probably the best sports game. Double Dragon, Gradius, I liked both of those. Twin Bee is kind of weird, but I liked it. The original Donkey Kong, the original Metroid is another one that is like without a guide. I don't even know if
super obtuse.
Play that game.
Super obtuse. Can I say one thing about Metroid? You know what's crazy? My sister has that freaking map memorized.
I wish I did, because it would have been a lot easier if I did.
Insane.
Have you guys played Adventures of Lolo? That's actually a pretty interesting puzzle game. It gets brutally hard, so I didn't finish it, but I got like most of the game. But Ice Climber is another game that sucks. Mighty Bomb Jack, I didn't, and Wario's Woods I hated too. Some of these weird NES puzzle games, I'm just like, no, Dr. Mario is the king on there. I don't need Yoshi and Wario Woods. I'm sorry.
Those Wario Woods and Yoshi, like Wario Woods came out like after the SNES
Yeah,
came
no,
out.
that's
And it's
one of
just
the
good. It's
last
just like
games, wasn't it?
yeah. Okay, the Adventures of Lolo. I tried this on NSO and like I remember, and yeah, this game sucks.
It's
Is
brutal. I
Wario
kind of it's like a puzzle game, but it's fun, but it gets too hard. Like it's the patience later on is rough.
is Wario's Woods the one where you play as Toad
Yes.
and you run? Okay, yeah, I hate
Yeah,
that
it
game.
came out in 1994, and Birdo's in it. It's so weird. That's the SNES. There's an SNES version as well.
Yeah,
No,
don't
I
play
don't like
either
that
of
game.
them.
I've played a
They're
lot of
not
these.
good.
I've just played in like NES Remix, so I've gotten my fill of a lot of them.
But yeah, I'll update you guys. It's probably gonna take me a long time to play through all the NES games because I'm playing it just off and on while I do other stuff. But it looks like we
So
got, like I said, I'm gonna start with NES and work my way up. But then, so somebody's been playing N64 games. It looks like
yeah, that's me, which is shocking because notorious N64
hater.
hater. Yeah. The reason why I've been playing the N64 is because Dr. Mario 64 is my favorite Dr. Mario game. I think it's the best version, and I freaking love that game. And I played through the story mode. I played as Wario, and I played it on hard mode, and then you unlock like super hard mode if you beat it without dying. So I did. Then I played through it on super hard mode with Dr. Mario. Super fun game. I freaking love that. Also, we had a party night at well, we always hope every week we do a game night with my friends. There's a couple other couples, me, Claire, and like 2 or 3 other couples. And we played. We got Claire to play Mario Party, even though she hates it.
Ooh, the
And we did
original
like
or 3?
no, we played 3. We played
Okay.
3, of course. We did a 50 turn game of 3.
Ooh, that's nice.
I've done 50 turns in the past, but playing with someone like Claire who hates this, and she was paired up. So there was 8 of us, so we each had like a partner. It was like me and like my friend James, and like so we each had like a partner. Oh, we stole a lot of stars from Claire and Jill. A lot of stars were stolen from Claire and Jill, and they were not happy to the point they almost shut off the Switch and
Ooh.
almost threw a couple of nachos. But yeah, so I played Mario Party 3. I played some Mario Tennis. Also, I played Mario Golf online with my sister.
Nice.
So the NFL online has worked great for us. I know other people have had problems with it, but it worked fine for us. The way I always describe N64, a lot of high highs and a lot of low lows.
That's fair.
But I saw a little leak. We might be getting DK64
And
coming up
Smash
soon.
64.
The worst Smash Brothers game, but I'll
It's
still
still
play it.
fun though.
It's fun to go back to, but I would prefer to play all the other ones. But yeah, I thought of you immediately when I saw DK64. But yeah, Mario Party 3, 50 turns. It's a blast. Cannot wait to play Mario Party with Parrot because I know it's his favorite video game series of all time.
I can say that I did play an online game of Mario Party 3 last week.
Ooh.
So it did happen.
Did you play as Waluigi?
I came in second. And I was Luigi, and I lost because the other person had 10 more coins than me.
What map did you play on?
It was something with like ice in the middle.
The snow.
Okay, the ice one. Okay, yeah. My favorite one is
the computer
desert one.
Is like truly insane in that game.
Yeah, they always then 64.
You put them on very hard. You were supposed to put them on very hard.
You did. We did, and they were like input reading. It's like insane. It's
Shout out to Tumble. Shout out to the host Tumble.
I don't know if you guys
that big mushroom dude. It like flies around. It was
the
absurd.
genie.
Yes, that.
I love that.
It's the first game with a genie. That's why. Yeah, it's the first game.
Mario Party 4 is even bigger. I think
he's freaking huge. And instead of flying with you, he just jumps. He just jumps. Those games will be added to the GameCube.
I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
Did you guys know the new Mario Party is going to get a team up mode, so you guys can actually play with teams of 2? Like they're going to have a separate mode, which could be fun. It's like they have separate
be fun
items.
For game night.
Yeah, I'm really excited for the update. That comes out at the end of July, so that'll be fun. We'll have to definitely get some matches going since, like Sean said, Mario Party is Parrot's favorite Nintendo IP.
Yep.
He loves it. He plays the Mario Party 1 single player version, like all the minigame island. That's all. He just plays it on repeat.
When I was little with Mario Party 1, I played it to death. I could not beat.
You get a blister?
Yes, because I couldn't beat Boo on the bike because you have to spin.
Oh my god,
I could not beat it.
That was a nightmare. That game was a nightmare. The 1v3 raft game was a nightmare.
The tug of war.
Tug of War was a nightmare. Yeah, those games were tight. And then, did you ever beat the minigame island?
No, I couldn't beat it. I did beat it later, like as an adult, yes, but not.
All right, real quick. Real quick, spoilers for Minigame Island in Mario Party 1. The final minigame when you have to race Toad. I was convinced you unlock Toad if you beat it.
You should have. He's like, they have the
You should have,
model.
yeah. Yep.
We need to make you play Mario Party 1 with us, because that game just like, that's the only one where like if you lose a mini game, they take coins
lose
from
coins.
you to
Yeah.
give to the
I'll-
other
coins.
person.
I will play with you guys at some point. We just got to figure out a day, because I want to. I'm trying to play all these Nintendo games, and Mario Party is a bit of a blind spot. So I need to play at least one round of every Mario Party.
I know you can't wait for them to add Mario Party 5, Parrot.
I will not play that again. I hate that game. I will not play that.
You hate Mario Party 5? That's
It's
like
the
the best
worst.
GameCube one.
It's the worst. The pacing is glacial because
oh yeah, the pacing is pretty bad, and the capsules kind of suck.
You get a capsule, and it's like throw it here, and people are like throwing it like they're counting as if it's gonna matter where they throw it. It's like just throw it.
Dude,
just
but what about the car building?
I love
the car building aspect.
The car building was so great in 5. I think,
and the volleyball.
Yeah. 6 I think was my favorite GameCube Mario Party.
6 is the only one I've never played.
Oh man, 6 is good. That did the day and night.
7, 7 with the giant cruise ship.
Yep. Oh, shout out to Mario Party.
And Dry Bones is in 7.
All right. Before Parrot has a meltdown, is there any more N64 games, or should we go on to GameCube?
GameCube.
Yeah, GameCube. I've spent a little bit, not an overwhelming amount of time. I kind of want to do a Wind Waker replay at some point, so I will play it on there when I do.
Yep.
But I played a couple rounds of F-Zero online, which was fun.
Jesus.
And then I played.
I haven't even. I played the demo. I remember, but
it's definitely fun. And then they just added Mario Strikers for GameCube.
Oh yeah,
and I played it that with some people online and just like absolutely bodied them, because I'm like, well, it's not really fair. You guys have never played before, and I played this game for like 100 hours. But it's just, yeah, I love those. I love Mario Strikers especially, so I'm just like glad that it's available to be played online.
I hope they add baseball soon.
If they add baseball, I will freak out.
I'm sure they will at some point.
They better.
It's not.
And then give us Wii games, and then give us Wii games.
Or Sean, are you gonna play Chibi Robo when they add it for Parrot?
For Parrot, I will. Yeah.
Hey, give it a try. It's free once it gets added. Not like $150
yeah,
it costs now.
Yeah, between that and Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, you'll save like $500 by those two games
crazy.
alone being on.
I'm gonna be. I'll be jumping into the GameCube games when Coliseum and Gale XD are added.
Me too.
Yeah.
My goal is like when they add a GameCube game that I haven't played, like I'm gonna move that up to my list and play it like the month it gets added. That's kind of like my goal from now on. So I'm just kind of waiting for like the stuff they have out there now. Like I've already played, and then but once Coliseum gets added, I will be playing it there. Even though like I should just emulate it so I can fast forward, but I'm gonna play it on GameCube emulator.
Gotta play it the way it was intended.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'll be slogging through NES games at that point still.
Mappy Land, here we come.
But yeah, like I guess after NES, I'll probably do SNES, and then I should do. I did tell our Sega fans that listen, even though I'm not a Sega guy, I would try the Genesis games. I did get the Genesis Classic games on Switch, but I don't think all of them are on there. But I've never really played many Genesis games other than the Sonic 1, 2, and 3. I think that's
other than Sonic. I don't think I can name you a Sega Genesis exclusive game.
Echo the Dolphin.
Booger Man. That was not exclusive. I had a friend that owned a Sega Genesis, and the only game he had was Booger Man and Sonic 2.
Wait, was Comic Zone exclusive?
Yeah, I don't Shining Force I've heard is really good because I like Fire Emblem, so I'm looking forward to those ones. I heard and Phantasy Star. I've heard those games are good. Especially
I've heard those games are awesome. Yeah, that's a huge blind spot for me. Yeah.
But yeah, NSO definitely, it's such a good deal too, because you just have Switch Online, especially if you're in a family plan. I don't know if they raise the price, but I think I'm paying like
$10
or something.
I have like a bunch of open slots on my family plan. Whoever wants to join it, just let me know and I'll add you. I really don't care. You don't even have to pay me. I really don't care.
All right, so I guess we just have our shout outs. I will say too, I played Liza P, but I'm not. This is a Switch 2 episode, so sorry, Liza P. You were too hard anyway. I did beat you, but you beat my soul into submission.
Yeah,
so
I could talk about my non-Switch 2 games.
And I had to announce that I'm retiring from Souls games after that one. I just can't do it anymore.
Real quick, I played Smash Bros. So when I did my data transfer for my Switch, I actually did not. I deleted my entire Smash Bros. File because I was like,
Oh,
I'm gonna redo everything.
that's
And
fun.
I already unlocked all the characters again, and I beat Classic mode on like the hard, like you can start at like
Yep.
5.5. I did that with every single character already. I'm working on the like all the different little achievements. Not using any hammers because that's
Yep.
cheating. And I'm going through Spirit World. Freaking love Smash Bros. I cannot believe how fast
Oh,
this
it's
game runs. Like
crazy.
classic mode's like an instant. It loads in like an instant. You can do like 3 or 4 classic runs in a span of like 40 minutes.
It's nuts. Yeah, I
It,
forgot I did play. I've been playing
it's
Smash Online
nuts.
some. Of course, the
Yeah.
biggest thing you'll notice is your character alt costumes actually load instantly. They don't hang for
Yep.
like 10
Yep.
seconds. But yeah, everything's just so much faster. It's so nice.
It's awesome, and they're continuing to do like the little spirit challenges
Yep.
each week. They like updated. I love this game. I'm going for all the spirits again. I had all of them on my original file, but I'm like I'm gonna try it new and do it again because I love it. The only thing I wish is it had trophies rather
I
than
know, me too.
rather than the spirits.
I
The trophy
wish
system was so much better.
I wonder. I kind of hope they like. I'm sure we're gonna get a new Smash at some point. But if they do
Me
like
too.
a Switch 2 edition of this and put all the DLC like on the cartridge, and I think that would be a good. And add a couple more characters or something. That'd be good for. It'd keep people satisfied for
And then
a
just
couple
add
years.
subspace.
Oh
That'd be
yeah, that'd
great.
be. And or add trophies back. That'd be even
Dude, if they
better.
just give
But
us trophies, I love that. I loved going through. Remember in like how they had like the display of them and you could
oh
just
yeah,
look
I
at them.
love doing that.
I
Melee
love
and
that.
Brawl. I just did that
Melee and Brawl had the
so
best.
much.
Yeah, it was great. But yeah, just want to say that real quick. Super fun.
All right, Parrot. I think you had a couple shout outs as
Oh yeah, I
well.
don't have to really discuss them. I just in like juggling with Tears of the Kingdom when I was in the mood to play that, I just was replaying a bunch of games on Switch 2, and I just replayed GTA 3, Spyro 1, Crash 1, and I just finished replaying Cuphead today. So
Did you
just
do the
shout out to all those.
DLC of
I did do
Cuphead?
the. It was only the second time I ever played the DLC, so I just finished that
Yeah,
this
I love
morning.
Cuphead so much.
Me too. That was my
I need,
fifth time playing the base game and the second time with the DLC. I
I
really love
know.
it.
It's funny because a lot of people don't. Let's like they added Miss Chalice, so I tried to play as her. I don't like her as much as Cuphead. Like I know she, like people like, oh, she makes it easier, but in some ways, I actually think it's worse. Like I don't like her special as much. So
Yeah, her specials aren't as good, and it's just weird to get used to. But
yeah,
like
the
when I first played
role.
the DLC, I just used Cuphead, but this time I used Miss Chalice the whole time to kind of just give it a better feel of how she works.
I
So yeah,
also
shout
do
out to
want
all
to.
those.
I want to play all the Crash games again, especially for Sean, because I never really played Crash 4. I think I started it at one point, but I never really finished it. And I know he loves Crash 4, so
If
Yep.
we do a dedicated Crash Bandicoot episode, I will play every single Crash game again, including the bad ones, because I still like the bad ones.
Yeah, we can do one. I will come. I'm gonna replay 1 through 4. I won't go past that, but
I played Wrath of
Noobs
Cortex
Insanity,
last. I think I played Wrath of
I think
Cortex
we played.
last year.
It
dude.
was either last year or 2 years ago. We both played. I remember.
Wrath
Yeah.
of Cortex loading screens are abysmal.
They're eternal.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, that's pretty much what we have been, or what we have been playing on Switch too. So why don't we talk about what we're playing next? And I think we're all going to be playing Donkey Kong Bonanza, of course, when that comes out.
Of course.
We already talked about Mario Party, which I'll be picking up again, even though I already had the original. And then currently I'm playing Pirate Yakuza, which is fun. I just wanted to play through it as like my July backlog game. I started another code, which Parrot dropped famously the first time, but did finish the first game. I think it's actually pretty good. I mean, it's very simple, but it's a little clunky, but it's definitely got some charm. It's got the DS charm to it, I
Yep.
feel like. So I'm liking it, but it's pretty. I mainly started it because it's pretty short, so I'll be done for sure before DK. And then I'm also going to play Shadow Labyrinth, which is that Pac-Man, that super dark Pac-Man Metroidvania. I don't know if I
Yeah,
know Parrot you're interested. I don't know if
I
you are,
am.
Sean, but
I want to hear what you have to say about
It
it.
looks interesting. Yeah.
yeah, I'll be getting that. Probably be playing that after DK, and then yeah, I'm going to be playing more NES amazing classics like I've been playing, I guess. Which I gotta say, out of the 25 NES games I played, I finished, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I finished 9 of them, which some of them you can't really finish, but most of them, some of them I just played for like 20 minutes. I'm like, I'm never playing you ever again. So soccer.
For me, this is actually a month with a lot of new games that I want. So I'm getting play Tony Hawk 3 and 4 that are coming out this week as we're recording. Donkey Kong, of course. And then one of the first of the two Chibi Robo inspired indies is coming out this
Oh
month.
yeah. Same
Miss
day as DK, right?
Yeah. I think it's the 22nd. So like a couple
Mm.
days after maybe. Misk a Tiny Tail, MISC. So I'm hoping it's good. I mean, I'm just gonna buy it because like even if it turns out to be mediocre, like I don't know, I need to support that game of all games. So and then like I said, I started Golden Sun, and I'm sure I'll play some other random things. But those are my big targets.
All right, what
All
about
right,
you,
I am
Sean?
gonna be playing the Suikoden collection. I actually started it yesterday, last night. I've played through Suikoden 1 through 5 many times, but I wanted to see the quality of life updates they've had. I've had it for a while, but I just never booted it up, so I'm really excited.
Did you get the
I'm definitely
Did you get the Switch 2 edition, or you just got, or you have it on
uh
PS5?
I have the regular one. No, I have it on Switch, but I got the
Okay.
regular, just the I have it physical, so
Yeah, it's funny because there
um
isn't a physical Switch 2 version, I don't think.
yeah.
So I might
I
just.
don't think there's any I don't think there's any difference.
Oh,
The
I
price is exactly the same.
okay. See, I thought they upgraded like some of the stuff on the Switch 2, like that has better resolution and performance. But
Yeah.
I'll have to look. I
That
was just
doesn't
gonna
yeah.
wait for a digital sale for it once, if I can't get it physical, but we'll see, I guess.
Definitely gonna be playing DK day one. Cannot wait for that. I'm gonna be starting Tears of the Kingdom, like I said. We'll see if I like it. We'll see. Fantasy Life eventually. Not sure when. Grand Theft Auto 3, I got to get back to because I have not turned my PS5 on since I got my Switch 2, which is crazy because
Nice,
according to some
nice.
people, I'm a Sony pony. So I'm not name names, but I am a Sony pony according to some people. And I forgot to mention, I bought Emio the Smiling Man.
Nice, nice.
I'm really looking forward to playing this.
Did you play the other two that came up before
No,
that?
I've
No,
not. No.
you don't. There's not really much that you need to have learned from those first two. They're like all connected, but like so tangentially connected, it doesn't really matter. But Emio is definitely the best one.
Yeah. And then finally, I don't really know. We'll see. Whatever sparks my fancy.
Yeah, that's how with it's like I try to like usually have like a Switch 2 game. I might play Nathan's surgery is going to be coming up at the end of the month. I don't know if I really want to take my Switch 2 to the hospital, so I might just do this Steam Deck and play like Rain on Your Parade or something like
That's a
that.
good one.
So but yeah, it seems like we are all really liking the Switch 2, and we'll probably it's probably going to be my main thing I'm going to be playing on for a good while because it's just better to play it on that than the Steam Deck right now. Before, I'd say the Steam Deck was ahead of the Switch 1 as far as like the performance and screen size and stuff, but not anymore. Switch 2 is definitely better.
Yep, I'm gonna be on my Switch 2 for years and years and years now. Steam Deck is
Nintendo
over.
stays winning.
Now, I do have a question for you guys. Would you, if they do announce like upgrades in like 2-3 years, would you be interested in upgrading depending what it is? Or because I know Parrot, you stayed with your
I did.
original
I never
Switch
upgraded.
forever, where I upgraded like twice. I upgraded the first time because they like fixed some of they made like the battery better basically, and then I also upgraded for the OLED.
Depends what it was. If it was just like it's Switch 2 but with an OLED, no, I would not do that. But if it's Switch 2 and the battery's better, maybe. But I don't know. I kind of don't really usually. I don't often play my Switch like for hours on end without taking a break anyway.
Right.
So the battery doesn't usually bother me that much. But especially now that you can charge it from both the bottom and the top,
Yeah, that's I
which is
always charge from the top. That's so
yeah, me
nice.
too now. So it's it would be a maybe. I'd have to see what it was.
What about you,
It really
Sean?
depends on it depends on what it is. Just an OLED screen, probably not. I didn't get the OLED Switch. I got two Switches. Oh, I actually had three. I got one Switch Lite. That was fun, and I somehow managed to just randomly get an Animal Crossing one. Don't know why. I just did. I thought it looked cool, but it really depends on what they offer and what they change.
Yeah, it'll be. I love upgrading. I mean, I guess I was thinking about, so for Game Boy Advance, I just got the SP. For DS, I got just the DS Lite. For 3DS, I did get the original 3DS XL, and I did upgrade to the new 3DS XL. But so I guess typically Vita I did upgrade too, but that was a mistake. I should have kept the old one.
Yeah, it all depends. It has to be different enough. But yeah, my Switch, my launch Switch survived. It made it the entire life cycle.
That's like a
Congrats
premium
to it.
Switch now because it's like so hackable.
Yeah, and when you turn it on, the fan revs up like it's about to explode. It's beautiful.
That was like my
like a launch 360.
Yep,
Yes.
that was like my PS4 with when I played God of War and Death Stranding. It sounded like it was gonna explode.
Yeah, well, mine sounds like it's gonna explode when you're just on the eShop. Which I get it. The eShop on Switch 1 doesn't work very good.
Yeah,
so.
it's rough. So, all right. Well, I think that's going to do it for us this week or this month. Thank you guys for listening. And as always, we'll catch you next time. Sayonara.
Bye.
This was a drunken moment with no alcohol involved.